Hello, my name is Jeff Groat, Executive Vice President of the Lion Share Company. We're here today for episode 5 of The Roar and the Reason, our podcast for our company. And we're having a lot of fun doing this, and it gets more fun when you bring guys in like Bill Beiter.
Thanks a lot.
Bill's here to join us today. Bill is end user sales account executive for the Cleveland area.
That's right.
That's right. And this is Bill's second episode with us. We're
That's
fortunate.
the sequel.
Happy to keep him on board and not let him leave. Again, the Lion Share Company is a culmination of 6 companies underneath it. Lion Share Company is the operating company, and we have the Wadsworth companies: Wadsworth Solutions, Wadsworth Service, Wadsworth Energy, along with Imperial Mechanical, Warner Mechanical, and Wave Electric are the 6 companies that make up the Lion Share Company. Bill, we're here today to talk about master service agreements, and this is important to our company because this solidifies our relationships with clients.
Definitely.
That's one. Number 2 is it allows us to work very closely with clients that we either have installed BMS systems, building automation, or we do HVAC service. And this has been a driver for Wadsworth Service for many years. And one of the main reasons is because we have a great reciprocating relationship with our clients. So, Bill, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Bill, you've had great success at selling master service agreements, or MSAs as we refer to them as. And I kind of wanted to get your opinion today. On what we do, what we look for when we go into a client, how MSAs are valuable to the customer first, and of course, Wadsworth Service as well. So with all that being said, Bill, I guess my first question for you is, you've been selling for Wadsworth for 3.5 years. And with that being said, how much or how many service contracts do you think you've sold?
Wow, that's a good question, Jeff.
You want to guess?
36.
36, just to be 36 and a half. No, just kidding. 36 is probably the right number. And Bill, if you've sold 36 of them, obviously you've found that there's a purpose and a reason for this. So if I'm the client and I'm our customer of Wadsworth Service, why would I want to enter in a master service agreement with you and Wadsworth?
I'd say, why wouldn't you?
I like the answer.
I'm just kidding.
I do like the answer.
There's so many reasons why you'd want to enter in a service agreement, especially nowadays. Right now in our industry, there's definitely a high demand for service techs and a low supply. I've heard part of that is there was a gap in people coming into the trades. So you have a lot of old timers. Not saying anything bad about old timers, but they're
people like us.
Yeah, they're retiring, and there was a gap. There's not much people to fill that place. So right now, the halls. I mean, with us being a union company, the halls are pretty much empty. So to have someone on call for service that's good is invaluable.
So when we say on call, I guess our company procedure is and has been for many years that if you have a master service agreement with Wadsworth Service, that you are at the top of the list. You become a priority customer.
Absolutely.
So understand why, and I loved your answer. Let's talk about the benefits of the program itself. If I have a master service agreement, what would we typically do for a client?
Typically, if they do have a service call, anything outside of the scope of preventative maintenance, they would get that priority service like you mentioned. During the actual visits, the key idea is to keep equipment running efficiently, which the efficiency saves on costs of energy, which is a big one.
Downtime, obviously.
Absolutely.
Avoid downtime, avoidable time, yes.
Yeah, even comfort level with your employees. I mean, it's I hear it all the time, you know. These women are too cold. These women are too hot.
Not
Just
uncommon.
kidding, men too. Just saying in general, though, if people aren't comfortable, then they're not going to be productive. Which that in turn, I mean, that decreases profits.
And productivity, of course.
Absolutely.
Great answer. I think a lot like you do. But when we're trying to work with the client and put together a program for that particular client, what do you look at? Do you first have a conversation with them? How does that work?
Absolutely. I first have a conversation with them. Most of the times they are in agreement with another provider. So I was taught one time that you ask them, what are some things that person's doing good? Definitely things that we'd want to bring to the table as well. And most of the time that conversation turns into ways they've fallen short.
Mm-hmm.
So that usually opens the door and finds out where, we could do a better job and bring more to the table than their current provider could.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding all that, I guess let's talk about preventive maintenance items. So coil cleaning.
Yes.
This is dogwood season. We just had this conversation this morning internal to the organization. It's the middle of June, and not dogwood, but cottonwood. But the cottonwood is still flying, and it looks like it's snowing outside. So not a good time to start cleaning coils.
Right.
We put people under a preventive maintenance program, and we may say you're going to get it done in the month of June, but we're kind of held hostage by the weather and by Mother Nature herself. Coil cleaning to me, Bill, is it's surface cleaning. It's where all the heat exchange happens, and it obviously increases efficiency. That was the low-hanging fruit on MSAs. What else do we do? Other filter changes and coil changes, but what else do we look for during an MSA, a master service agreement?
Is it just looking for, little problems and inefficiencies in the operating of the units? I mean, if we can catch small problems before they start, contactors going bad before they become big problems, that's huge. I mean, especially right now with new equipment. I mean, with the refrigerant changes and everything, right now, if you needed a piece of new equipment, you can't even get 454B. There's a shortage of it.
There's a huge shortage. It's very difficult. I mean, it's not impossible to get, but we're struggling. Every provider, HVAC service provider, is struggling to find refrigerant. It's just not available. You're right.
Right. So keeping the lifespan of equipment is huge. And you don't want to have major issues where a whole system's down. And I've done a lot of work with VRF where multi-tenant sites are completely down from a lack of maintenance.
And lack of maintenance is just such an easy thing to do. It's just overlooked.
Absolutely.
Also on the master service agreement, or the MSA side, we do controls. And we've installed control systems. The good thing about control systems is they've lasted 25, 30 years. The bad thing about control systems, they've lasted 25, 30 years. And we run into this quite a bit where people have a system like, hey, I don't need a new building automation system. I have one. And then when you point out to them that you have as much memory in my iPhone for one picture than I do for the whole entire building automation system, that's a limitation on the creativity that we can have on programming. And when we program around efficiency. So there's always a need on the building automation side to at least give a cursory view or an in-depth view or look at how the system's operating, how the programming's working, and is it doing what it's intended to do.
Absolutely.
So you also sell a lot of master service agreements for the building automation side as well. You mentioned the shortage in labor, and I really like how you preface that, because we tell people today's global supply chain problem is labor. It's no longer like it was during COVID, which was pieces and parts and equipment. We just couldn't get them. They weren't manufacturing them. This labor problem is not going away. So if you're not in a master service agreement and you have emergency calls and you're not receiving a prompt response from your provider, problem is going to probably be based around labor availability.
Absolutely.
And I think you said that very, very well. Bill, I know this is brief, but I really appreciate you coming in again.
Yeah, I'm glad to
for
be
episode 5
Yep.
of The Roar and the Reason. And you as a person, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you, what you've done in those 3.5 years. You're remarkable, and you're dedicated, a great communicator, and you've done an excellent job with the clients that you have. And I just want to thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate you coming again.
Thank you.